off a little bit, looking at him running, making that initial quick movement, looking for a single. Most of the times there isn't any. It's just that intent of taking a single that can actually put the other guy off.
In comes Cast, tall, long-legged bowls. Here is a quick single, stroked it down the ground to mid-off. It's fielded and they get through comfortably. I mean, that you wouldn't think he's needing to find quick singles here because there's all the time in the world here. We've got 14 overs in, that's all. Another 38 needed.
Yeah, but for Shikhar, I guess, one, this is how he bats, and also the fact that he doesn't play a lot of international cricket because this is the only format that he plays. The last time he played was, I think Andy just told me about it, February, right? Andy, February against West Indies was the last international game he played.
Sharma on strike, who's been scoring less than a run a ball. That's pretty cramped him for room. If he tried to run it and really played with his hands close to his body, rehearses that stroke, trying to stroke it out through the covers, and it's a dot ball. Cast picks up in his follow-through. Big sleeve of tattoos on the right arm, a tattoo winding down the inside, scrolled writing, that looks to be, on the inside of his left arm as well. Some good competition for arm tattoos in the England team. Not least Ben Stokes.
I think across the cricketing world, I guess.
It's a fair amount. Stokes has got a tremendous artwork across his back. Full, and this is stroked, but only as far as Moeen at cover, who has almost tripped himself over as he's fielded that. The result is a dot ball. Sharma set off thinking they might take one, and perhaps on the misfield thought they might get one, but Moeen almost did a bit of a commando roll there before he righted himself to pick up. 73 without loss, the score remains.
Yeah, so just going back to that Shikhar issue point again, I mean, obviously he's looking a little rusty, the fact that he also does not play too many domestic cricket either, too much of it. So obviously he's looked a little rusty. It's important, I mean, all these 3 games, especially for him.
Cast in, he's trying to go for a big heave. I was struck on the pad. There's an appeal here as the ball's running away towards the deep third boundary, and Topley is there to pick up. And England have asked the question. I want to go upstairs for this. It's Rohit on 45. England have really barely been close to a wicket throughout this run chase so far. But Jos Buttler, wicket-keeper and captain, says, yeah, Brydon Cast, let's go upstairs.
Yeah, Jos Buttler, I don't think even kind of asked Cast about it, because I just saw Cast saying it might be too high. Jos Buttler just went straight away for it.
Well, the appeal very definitely came from Cast. 73 without loss is the score. It's a big heave. It's him on the back thigh, and that is a pretty good review, I'd say, unless it is height, but I think Rohit could be in trouble here.
He could be, actually. Looks kind of straight. Height is the only question, it seems. Back leg, thigh, but his back leg was also bent, so obviously this is going to be interesting.
So impact in line, no question about that.
It's pitching outside off, impact in line, and wickets is umpire's call. I'm going to go back to Alex on field. Stand by. You can stay with your original decision. Your on-screen signal now.
That's the voice of Richard Kettleborough, the TV umpire. So umpire's call. So yeah, you can't say a bad review because it was close, but unfortunately for England, not close enough. And so Rohit and the captain survives in 45 alongside Dhawan 22. And if you are wondering why England are chasing such a low total, India are chasing such a low total here, where England were bundled out for 110 in 25.2 overs. Bumrah 6 for 19, Shami 3 for 31. They both bowled brilliantly with the new white ball. But England, it just stunned the crowd that they were blown away so early. Ducks for Roy, Root, Stokes and Livingston. Bairstow, after 4 test hundreds in 5 innings, was out for just 7 off 20. And Rishabh Pant had 3 catches behind. Caught very well, a couple of one-handed diving catches. And Jos Buttler was the top scorer for the England innings with 30 off 32. But Liam Livingston shimmied far too cross across to the offside. Got a brilliant in-swinger from Bumrah that took out leg stump. And that was the 4th duck in the England innings. And really, by then, it already felt like it was game over. Yeah. So it's been just an extraordinary game, really, considering the form that England have been in. Change of bowling here. Spin and Moeen Ali is coming into the attack to Rohit, who plays a neat little paddle sweep, and he's running it down to fine leg. It will be cut off inside the boundary. And they'll come back for the second. David Willey is fielding down there in front of the dugout in the wide-brimmed sun hat, which he probably hasn't really needed today because it's been overcast. But that certainly helped the ball to move earlier, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, if England managed to get around 180, 190, that could have been a game on, maybe. But I guess 110 is not enough. Never going to be enough.
Moeen over the wicket. Rohit having to work him away through the covers. He can't get it beyond the circle, and Liam Livingston fields. There's no run. Moeen has removed his hat to bowl in. Royal blue coloured cricket shoes here. Moeen forward. Sharma defending to the onside. Going to get quite low to these deliveries, looking to smother if there is any turn from Moeen. Over the wicket he goes. Made some room to force this away down to cast in front of us at long off.
Yeah, every time Rohit's on strike against the off spinner, you first thing you do is have a look at the mid wicket region. Is that empty? And when is he going to go try and go over mid wicket?
Well, there is a fielder stationed on the deep mid wicket boundary. Or was stationed, still is stationed here as it's Darwan. And Jos Buttler is looking to direct traffic and figure out what field he's going to have for Moeen bowling to the left-hander. And it's all change at the moment. There's figures running everywhere. Willey and Topley. Are they just simply swapping places? No, Willey's going to field mid-wicket. And Topley's on the edge of the circle.
Interesting.
Behind square.
No one's in the 45 or short fine. He plays the sweep well, all kinds of it, paddle as well.
Around the wicket's left-hander. A bit more flight that time from Moeen. Stroked out past Jason Roy. There's a chase for Stokes, and he's able to cut it off. Bends down one-handed in front of an Indian flag on the advertising hoardings as Darwan's back for a comfortable 2. He's on to 24, and India are just 32 away from their target, 79 without loss now.
Yeah, Shikhar is kind of getting himself in, as we were talking about, not much international cricket, so taking his time.
24 or 47 balls for him, a bit quicker that time from Moeen. He's forward, Darwan, getting well over the ball to smother any turn. It's the end of Moeen's over, so England are still wicketless, and India 79 without loss. Sharma on 48, Darwan on 24. Shreyas Iyer would have been sitting with his pants on from the start of the innings, and Suryakumar Yadav coming in at 4, and still watching with sort of wonderment really at some of those shots that he played in his T20 100. It was extraordinary, wasn't it?
Extraordinary. It was a very, very special innings from Surya. I mean, that just again reiterates the kind of skill set that he has. I mean, he's so wristy. I mean, we've seen a lot of wristy cricketers over the years, but this guy's right up there as far as, being wristy is concerned, or using his wrists.
Rohit on 48. This one sits up and it's pulled over the boundary for 6. What a way to bring up a 50. And India's captain here brings up a half century. And wow, he's absolutely dispatched that. I'm not sure whether it's caught in the crowd, but the Indian flags have been raised aloft.
But that's not where you generally bowl to Rohit, not once he is said, because he's so good playing that pull shot. He plays it off the front foot, doesn't really go onto the back foot as such, but he picks up the length very early.
Cars in again. Oh, that's Crampton Faroum. Just dropped the bat down on it, inside edge into the ground. It bounces then away harmlessly towards Jos Buttler. Could have maybe cannoned onto his stumps, but 54 not out off 49 balls now. And he's got the stats on the 50.
Yeah, 2 sixes and 6 fours. It's his 74th in one-day international cricket. 29 of those are centuries. It's a great record in England. It's now 14 50-plus scores in 25 innings, averaging 69 with a strike rate of 90. Had a superb tournament in the World Cup in 2019.
He did, didn't he? 500s, wasn't it, in the World Cup? That one played back up the pitch, and there's no run. Yeah, it was stupendous there. And of course, the 3 double hundreds he's got in ODIs as well. He's just a phenomenal.
And that's the thing with Rohit, right? Obviously, he initially made his name playing white ball cricket, and then now he's become so good in test match cricket. And at an age and a stage in his career where he really didn't have to worry too much about test cricket, but then just tells you how important test cricket is for him to make those adjustments for test match cricket.
India 26 away, Carson, it's a full toss and it's smeared past point for 4 more. India might start to gallop towards this target now.
Yeah, bossing it now, Rohit. Used his feet and converted that into a full toss as well and made some room for himself. And good batting from Rohit. Yeah, just made some room and then opened the face of the bat. Yeah, this guy can do everything, Rohit Sharma. And what I really, as I mentioned, what I really love about Rohit Sharma is his willingness to play Test match cricket.
Pass in. This has been spooned high in the air, but he's got enough on it to clear the ropes again. This is even bigger. Well, 2 sixes in the over, the boundary as well. The finish line well in sight. And that was just a pickup.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want a bold shot as in a proper bouncer.
They're not getting up, are they?
No, anything around that waist or a chest region, nah. Rohit's too good for that. I mean, I'm sure the team management must have spoken about that length to the English bowlers, but that's not working against Rohit for sure. Either you bowl short, as in get it high enough around that shoulder region, not that.
India only needs 16. Now where does Cast go this time? A little fuller again, and this time it could be 2 out through mid-wicket. Rohit's turning for the second. Livingston comes in from the deep to field. Well, big over. Big over. The 50 brought up by Rohit Sharma as well. And India 97 without loss. Cantering, galloping towards their target of 111. Deep Dasgupta is here with us on Test Match Special. And so too, in a moment, Deep is going to be Jonathan Agnew alongside.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's also important for Rohit to bat the way he is because he doesn't want to lose momentum. He's in great form, good nick. He's been, hitting the ball really well. Yeah, he just wants to continue batting in the same fashion. And what it's also doing, his innings, is kind of not putting any pressure on Shikhar, who's, again, just has looked a little rusty, wants to, get his eye in and get some runs or get some game time under the belt, to be honest. Because, yeah, a couple of games here and then he's leading the Indian side over at the West Indies, where India is travelling straight after from here, playing, a few ODIs and then a few T20Is as well.
Excellent. Well, it's been a bit of a trouncing, hasn't it? Let's be honest. Heading for a 10-wicket victory here. And Rohit there really taking Cast to the cleaners, peppering the stands. But anyway, England haven't turned up today. It's as simple as that. And once they lost those first 3 top-order batsmen, all for ducks, Roy, Root and Stokes, 8 balls between them they lasted. I think the writing was probably on the wall against this very strong Indian side. So it's one I'm afraid for England just to forget about, really, and come back on Thursday at Lord's and aim to do better. But I've not seen much. I've been chatting to Gary Sobers, actually.
I know, I met him as a fanboy moment.
There you
I've
go.
taken a picture as well.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Well, it'll be our interval for Thursday. He's an elderly old boy now, Gary, and I've been very lucky to work with him a lot over the years, and he's still got a twinkle in his eye.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be hearing that little chat.
Yeah, I was reminded the last time he was here, he got 150.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, I think he got 150s virtually everywhere he went, didn't he?
Exactly.
But from such a humble beginning, hardly at school, father died very young, and just playing cricket on the road or in the park or whatever, and he turns out to be, well, probably the greatest all-round cricketer there's ever been.
Absolutely.
From that sort of humble beginning, no coaching. It's a remarkable story, really.
Seriously.
It's incredible. Playing against adults at a young age, with fast bowlers trying to sort you out as a young kid if you're in there and dared to hit them for 4, all that sort of stuff, And, yeah, absolutely amazing man, and lovely to see him.
And he just walked in, obviously, with another gentleman, and he was starting to introduce Sir Gary. I was like, no, he doesn't need introduction.
I possibly know who he is. Yeah. Now we've got Moeen coming on. 97 for no wicket. 14 needed, that's all. Shikhar Dhawan on strike. As Moeen bowls to him, and he just leans forward. He's having a bit of a net, really. Roy Fields at cover, and there's no run. 3 out there's 2 out actually in the leg side boundary, because Overton here is within the circle at mid-on, and Dhawan again just bat and pad together. And Moeen Fields in his follow-through. It's a deep point and a long off. There's a slip as well. They're optimistically hoping for a catch, but The game is up as far as England are concerned, and Dhawan, well, he's going to block Iron Maiden here by the look of him. He's not even trying to score a run.
His favourite is a sweep shot. He still hasn't. He's played about 4 deliveries of Moeen already.
Yeah, he had a little look over his shoulder there. As Moeen moves in, bowls trimmed down the pitch. He comes and heaves him away for 4. No, it hasn't. It's stopped. It plugged. It looked there if that would go for 4 runs, but it hit the surface and just stopped. So Livington's able to throw that back again. They just take 2.
Yeah, good wedge player, it seems.
It's like an approach to the green, wasn't it? It just stopped completely. 99 for no wicket, 12 to win. And Moeen pauses for a moment, moves in round the wicket again, and Dhawan leans back, chops that away into the offside, beats the man on the edge of the circle. But the sweeper will have that coming round from point. Nasty throw coming in there from Bairstow, but the 100's up for no wicket. Sharma's on strike, and India need just 11 to win this first of 3 50-over one-day internationals. So it's been a stroll in the park because it's only the 18th over. So we've had fewer than 45 overs bowled in the game. There's Moeen turning to the leg side again. Rohit just trots the single. That'll keep him on strike, and it's 101 for no wicket.
It's the 18th century stand these two have shared in ODI cricket. That puts them joint 3rd in most century stands in one-day internationals. Rohit's also shared 18 with Virat Kohli. Dilshan and Sangakkara of Sri Lanka 20 100 stands together and way out in front. Ganguly and Tendulkar 26 century stands in this format.
And how many one-day internationals have England lost by 10 wickets? I think I've got 1 at Headingley against Sri Lanka.
No, I think Sri Lanka lost a wicket now. Was that the Jayasuriya?
Yeah, did they lose a wicket, did they?
Yeah.
Kalawitarana. Okay. Can't be that many.
5.
This will be number 6.
Yeah.
If it happens, right, okay. Cast is going to continue, and he's going to, I don't know if he could keep bowling short to Rohit or not. In he comes anyway, bowls to Sharma, who flicks him through mid-wicket, runs here for India, the ball heading out towards the boundary, long sprint there for Livingston, making his way around, a big dive, and he slips as he throws that back, and they take 2. 8 to win.
Rohit and Shikhar would also be one of the most successful opening pairs in ODI cricket, and I believe will be at least in the top 4-5.
They are in the top 4. They've passed 5,000 runs added as openers in this innings.
Cast wheels round, he starts off on the edge of the 30-yard circle. Rohit's waiting for him with a slip short, pulled away out towards deep square leg for 6. The howl goes up down there from the Indian supporters. Flags are waving. Bit of a flatter on that one. Cast shakes his head, but I'm sorry, Bryden, I think you might have learned by now if you bowl that length to Rohit, it's probably only going to end up one place.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He doesn't watch too much cricket, does he? I mean, you don't bowl there to Rohit.
I don't think so. It was just swiveled off the hip, that. He does hit it up, as Jimmy Anderson was saying, but he also hits it a long way. 2 to win. 109 for no wicket. And Cast runs in again. The straight approach, he bowls to Sharma, turns into the leg side, and they'll get a single. So the scores are level. 110 for no wicket. A very big, and I think a very disappointed crowd, frankly, today. It's an expensive day out. Hope for better than this. I'm sure India will be pleased that they've won, of course, and they're celebrating down there to our right, but I think they'd like to have seen a nice last over thriller around about 8:30, course to 9. Instead, it's going to be all over damp squib at 5 to 5. 1 to win. In comes Cast. Bowls slashed away for 4 by Shikhar Dhawan, who tucks his bat under his arm, says thanks very much. And that is one of the more one-sided 50 overs one-day internationals you'll see. A bit of disappointment for the crowd. England didn't turn up. That's taking nothing away from India, who had England under the cosh from the very start. 26 for 5, no coming back from that, and the runs knocked off in the 19th over without losing a single wicket.
Yeah, it was a good toss to win for Rohit. because there was a fair bit of help for the quicker bowlers, obviously, who did extremely well. Bumrah 6 for 19, his career best, one of the top, in terms of numbers for an Indian bowler in ODIs. And also, I mean, again, Shami being a little unlucky, maybe a tad bit, because he bowled beautifully as well, not picking up as many wickets. But then I guess as far as England's concerned, they're going to forget this as an aberration, which I think it was. I mean, they're much, much better than what we saw them today, and they're not shouldn't be dwelling too much over what happened this afternoon.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, if you analyse where the damage was done at the top, well, Roy got that big inside edge, driving a wide ball from Bumrah. Okay, it happens, but he was playing that a long way from his body. Root got a good ball. Stokes got a good ball.
Yes. Bairstow got a good ball.
Bairstow got a good ball. I mean, you can look at those wickets and think, okay, they were got out. They were decent balls, and they got out to them. But yeah, once you're 26 for 5, how do you play from there? Moeen got 14. David Willey 21. Joss Butler made 30. He was the 7th out, 59 for 7. Yeah, there's no way back, and so